the Amazon man cometh. Other brands are available, but at least where I live, this company has such a commanding market share that it's the brand name that has become synonymous with the service. This is nothing new. Tupperware was named after Earl Silas Tupper, Sellotape with the adhesive tape, Biro for the ballpoint pen, and many, many more. Oh, and even heroin for cough medicine. Yes, really. We all know why online shopping is so attractive to so many people. Factors include convenience, range of choice, delivery of service, and competitive pricing, to name but a few. It's obvious that digital technology has made this work. That's not to say there was nothing like this before. As early as the mid-19th century, something similar already existed. It was certainly slower, more expensive, and not as ubiquitous, but it was there. Over the next 100+ years, it became part of life for, well, lots of people all over the world. Of course, I'm talking about mail order. The modern concept of mail order can be traced back to the 19th century. Two things really made this possible. One was the introduction of a reliable and affordable postal service, and the other one is, you've guessed it, the invention of the railways. The railway boom started in Britain in the 1830s and 40s and then quickly spread all over the world. Reliable postal services evolved in many countries more or less at the same time. Take, for example, the Royal Mail in Britain. In 1840, Sir Rowland Hill, the then boss, introduced the penny post. The term penny post refers to the fact that it allowed the sending of letters at a uniform rate of 1 penny. Before the penny post, the cost of sending a letter was based on the distance travelled and the number of sheets of paper it contained. The introduction of the penny post and postage stamps made sending letters more accessible and affordable to the general public, leading to a massive increase in communication and the growth of the postal system. Where letters started, parcels soon followed. The cost of sending a parcel depended on its size and weight and the destination. Railways allowed fast and cheap transport of parcels all over the country, and later all over the world. Before this time, people shopped locally. Only the rich could afford to order things from distant cities. It was possible, for example, to order furniture from the Chippendale factory in London in the mid-18th century, but ordering it from the comfort of your own home was not really an option. When it was first published in 1845, the Tiffany & Co. Blue Book made history as the first direct mail catalogue to bring fine jewellery to American households. In the decades that followed, its pages would become the stuff of luxury legend, but that was just for the rich. The first ever real mail order company was started by Sir Price Jones in 1861. The company used the National Postal Service and the railways. Famous customers included Queen Victoria and Florence Nightingale. But it was in the United States that mail order really took off. Aaron Montgomery Ward founded Montgomery Ward in 1872. Ward advertised his products in a catalogue and customers would place orders by mail. The goods would then be delivered by mail and or by train. This allowed people, especially in rural areas, to have access to a wider variety of products than was locally available. Postal orders were first introduced in 1881 and quickly spread all over the world. Unlike cheques, postal orders allowed people who didn't have a bank account or a checkbook to buy things by post without the dangerous option of sending cash. We also need to remember that mail deliveries in the second half of the 19th century and the first half of the 20th century were much faster and more frequent than they are today. In the Victorian era, in cities like London, there could be as many as 6 deliveries a day, and central London at one point boasted 12. Yes, 12 deliveries. Even in the 1950s, in cities, there were on average 2 postal deliveries a day for domestic properties and 4 for businesses. In order to speed things up, the Royal Mail even built a separate underground railway system in London just for the post. This was done so the postal deliveries would not be delayed by traffic. It was affectionately known as the mail rail, and you can see it here. Quite extensive, isn't it? It opened in 1927 and ran until 2003. Part of it is now open to the public. It's not really surprising that postal services were superior in the past. People had fewer other options. With the introduction of telephones, faxes, and later email, it's natural that most of these services would dry up. But mail order went from strength to strength. Giants like the Sears catalogue in the United States could be described as one of the leaders of mail order companies. From the primitive catalogues of the early years, mail order companies produced thick, colourful, glossy catalogues. These mail order companies had agents who received a commission in each neighbourhood. My grandmother was one of these, but she was always into everything. Just as the introduction of new technology made mail order possible, it was the introduction of even more new technology that killed it off. So what happened? Did mail order give way to the likes of Amazon straight away? In fact, there was a series of intermediate stages, all of which offered competition to the mail order market without destroying it. It was just online shopping that killed mail order forever. In 1979, Michael Aldridge started a company that connected televisions to a computer system. It was a kind of first online shopping system. In 1982, Boston Computer Exchange was set up as an online marketplace to buy and sell, well, you guessed it, computers. In 1992, Books Taxed Unlimited became the first online system for selling books. At the beginning, however, it used a dial-up ordering system. And then in 1995, Jeff Bezos founded Amazon as an online bookseller. And the rest is, as they say, history. As we have seen, online shopping is big and getting bigger all the time. The COVID-19 pandemic was another great stimulus for it. For large numbers of people, it is the first shopping option, especially in more developed countries. Fantastic, eh? Well, yes, but as always, there is a downside. As someone who doesn't like shopping, I have to say that I prefer to buy a lot of stuff online. It's quicker, easier, and involves less travelling and queuing. So it should be more environmentally friendly, shouldn't it? Well, not necessarily. What are the downsides of online shopping? First of all, these customers have to come from somewhere, and that somewhere generally means bricks and mortar stores. The decline of the high street and the shopping malls worldwide is a clear sign of this. Politicians of all political hues constantly lament the death of bricks and mortar shops, but they rarely go as far as to do anything about it. When elected to positions of power, in most countries, owning bricks and mortar shops comes with a massive tax and regulatory burden. Nothing is done about that. The most popular excuse, at least in Europe, is that it is an international problem that no national government can solve. How very convenient. What about the environmental cost? It has been claimed that online shopping is incredibly inefficient, both in terms of transportation and in terms of packaging. I think that's undeniable, especially when the item you order has come from halfway around the world on a highly polluting container ship. Many claim that fast fashion is one of the worst culprits. Clothes that do not last, and in some cases are not expected to last long enough to find their way into a washing machine, are a massive strain on the environment. Perhaps one of the biggest problems is that people now do both online and physical shopping. So the fact that we buy a lot of products online does not reduce our energy consumption in any way when the delivery driver is visiting our houses, because we still travel to the shops to buy a lot of things. One of the biggest criticisms of online shopping is that it encourages transportation of goods over long distances, which has environmental implications and, in an increasingly insecure world, might make us dependent on very, very delicate supply chains. It has been suggested that the solution to this could be 3D printers. A lot of products could be printed at home, more complex products printed in local workshops. Some claimed that even food could be printed in this way. This would be the best of both worlds, an infinite choice supplied via software online, but 0-mile or 0-kilometre deliveries of the physical products to your home. This may be possible, but we're a long way from that, it seems. Who knows? So what's the message of this video? Well, there isn't one really. I'm just saying that it will be interesting to see what happens next. Bye for now.